the public at large. Honorable Minister,
So good morning again. I will do just a quick introduction. We are meeting the assessor, meeting our consultant now. Only right that the consultant himself tells us what he brings over. I'm sure you are aware of the government taking over the process of assessor. The applied sciences technology associates signed a contract with our institution to provide consultants. So maybe I'll call upon Mr. Chico to talk to us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and the Tuareg. We are grateful, first of all, for giving us this opportunity to do this important work on behalf of the nation. It's a task that we don't take lightly. We take it with the responsibility that it requires. We are also grateful for this opportunity that we can explain to yourselves and through the media to the nation what we are doing. As the Minister has introduced me, my name is Chilekwa Kampechi. I'm the Managing Consultant for Applied Science and Technology Associates. But for the short name, we just call it Applied Science. And the name really is that we want to apply science to everything we are doing. So it's the results of the science that will inform us what has happened and what needs to be done. I have a colleague here, Titus Chilongo. Although I'm speaking, he's the team lead. He's the one who is leading what's happening on the ground. So maybe just to summarize what's happening is that we have terms of reference which were given to us by ZEMA. So we are operating according to those terms of reference, but where we see necessary, we will make extra recommendations. So what we have done so far is sample the water. We are sampling all the streams in Kitwe. We have completed, whether they are connected to the incident or not. So we'll be talking about Kitwe stream, Indolo stream, Uchi, Chimpe, and all the streams basically in Kitwe and in Chambishi. We have sampled those. We are taking surface water samples. We are also taking sediment. We have sampled Kafue River. So the way we are sampling Kafue River is where there is a stream coming in, we sample upstream and downstream. The idea is to see what impact is that stream having on Kafue River. So we've sampled, and then we've, of course, the key streams will be Chambishi stream itself. Now, understand there might be a site visit. So you notice that Chambishi stream, upstream it starts as a drainage. So that drainage is dry at the moment. But we've managed to take sediment samples from there, we don't take water samples. Eventually, that stream discharges into Chambishi, which is flowing. We've taken water samples into Chambishi, and then Chambishi goes into Mwambashi. So we've taken water samples upstream of Mwambashi to give us the background, to understand what's happening. And then we have taken samples along Mwambashi downstream, progressively to see how is the water quality changing on Mwambashi Stream. We've also sampled the tributaries that are discharging into Mwambashi. So that will give us a picture really of what's happening. As you be aware, there are quite a number of operations there which are likely to impact water quality. So at the end of the day, we'll be able to say, this is the water quality of all the streams there, and this is the impact we are having on Mwambashi and on Kafue River. So we'll be able to show how the water quality is changing. The heavy metal sample up to the stage. So the team from the stage coming this way, and the team from Gateway, say there were 3 sites is the maximum because of what they're doing. So we've actually increased the number of teams that are sampled, so that we can reduce the period. So our target is to sample finish by the independence. We get all the samples and they are going to offer a night laboratory, and we've got a list of parameters. Talking about the parameters, the question might be, how did we arrive at those parameters? So we took samples of tailings right at the beginning. Now, because Sinometals is not operating, we couldn't get the tailings as it is being discharged. But there are tailings which are there now. So we went and got several the solid particles, and we also got the liquid particles, and we sent them to the labs so that the lab can do a full analysis. And it says at different depth. We also took the liquid sample. So if we find that in the solids there is no mercury, and we find in the liquid, or what's called the liquor, there is no mercury, then the question becomes, so I'm just giving mercury as an example. The question becomes, why do we want to analyze mercury in all this? No, so we're not saying there's no mercury in Kafue River, because there are many other operations, but we are saying as far as these tailings are concerned, these parameters are not so significant. So we select the key indicator parameters, those that are significant for health, and those that are significant for the water quality itself. Those that we see that these have exceeded the standards and so on. Those that were not detected because of the time it takes to analyze, we've kind of, so that's what has guided us to say which parameters are critical for analysis. So we sampled the tailings. So I've talked about surface water. We are also doing soil sampling. There is a team right now in the field. So we've sampled around the tailings dam itself and along the stream. So we are sampling on a grid. There's a grid that has been prepared, and we're sampling on a grid. Apart from sampling on a grid, we are also sampling specific areas where you know there's contamination here, but probably if you do the grid, you have missed it. The soil sampling, although our target was to finish by Independence, it looks like we may have to go up to Saturday, because some as far as vegetation. So the soil sampling probably will go that way. We've done a radiation assessment. So for radiation, we engaged the Radiation Protection Authority. We had them on site. They did their initial assessment. They also took samples. We're still waiting for the reports. Again, the idea is just to understand the characteristics of the tailings. Is it radioactive? We've done, okay, it's actually ongoing. We are doing agronomy. So what's the effect on agriculture, and especially the crops? How are they impacted? Are they taking up heavy metals? And so on. We have a team that's doing ecological assessment. So they are trying to see what's the impact on the ecology, and also trying to see is it recovering and the rate of recovery. We've got a team that is doing the socio-economic, so what's the impact on the socio-economic. We've got a team that's surveying the shallow wells. So there are wells around there, wells and boreholes. We've got a limit that we are checking. So we, as you will appreciate, groundwater flows in a certain direction. All right? So if this is upstream, groundwater will flow downstream. So if the contamination is down, you're not expecting the contamination to go up. So that's what we are trying to do, to see which wells are likely to be impacted, looking at the groundwater flow direction. And then we are also considering what the wells are used for. Those wells that are used for irrigation, or they are used for drinking water, we are taking note. So if the groundwater flows away from the well going to the stream, in other words, the stream can't impact the wells, we will sample those wells that are critical, though we know that the pollutants won't go up. But I think just to prove the point, we'll still sample them, especially those critical wells where people are getting water for irrigation, people are getting water for drinking or for cooking. We've had also had to engage civil society. So we had meetings in Lusaka where we met ActionAid. I think, again, if I can just give a background, how there are so many civil society organizations. How did we select this? So the basis for selection is those that are actively engaged in environmental related issues, and also those that were very active on this matter, or even now they are still very active. So the idea was to engage them as part of our scoping exercise, to see what are the critical issues from their side, what sort of things we take into account. So we had ActionAid, we had JCTR, the Jesuit Center for Reflection, we had Environmental Justice, we had TIZ, we had the Evangelical Fellowship. We did invite civil society for poverty reduction, but minority didn't attend. We had a meeting on the Copper Belt, but again, as a Copper Belt resident, there are not too many civil societies or NGOs in the environmental field. So we invited the Caritas. We also invited councillors in the wards that were affected. So we wrote to the City Council, we wrote to Kalonji City Council to avail us the councillors from those wards that were affected. And I think we had councillors from the Paburushi area, I didn't attend the meeting, my colleagues did, but I don't think we had councillors from the Kitwe region. We also invited citizens for a better environment, but they didn't come for the meeting. But generally, we had those specific meetings, but it's also ongoing, so we are engaging like a group that's doing social economics. They are also engaging the local authorities to see how they were impacted and that sort of thing. So we actively on the ground this time. We've got teams that are sampling. We're sampling crops, we're sampling water, groundwater, surface water, sediment, and soil, as I said, then radiation. We've issued 2 reports so far. The second report, which probably I could allude to, is a preliminary report based on what could be done. As the minister said, the rainy season is approaching. What can we do? So we issued a preliminary report that takes those things into account, and we submitted that to Zema. Now the whole point of